I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and my Twitch subscribers. Join the Guardians, become a member, or become a subscriber on YouTube, Patreon, and help support the channel. I want to say this. I'm an adult male, a little behind on my bills, but take care of most of my responsibility. Ironically enough, some of the reasons why I'm behind on some of the bills that I have because I have responsibility that I've refused to let slip and not take care of. I live on my own, support myself, with the help of you guys by like, sharing, subscribing. Can help support the stream, help a little bit more to the cause. But I am again somebody who feels that I take care of adult responsibilities and am not just emotionally raging on streams, breaking glasses and shit. I mean, like explaining how I'm loyal to people to a fault. Um, yeah, even though I play video games, even though I draw art, you know what I'm saying, with the big tatas and the thick thighs, I still do adult shit. But it's telling. As a 42-year-old man, I'm coming on the cusp of a millennial and a Gen Z, a Gen Xer, and the stereotype for what that meant to me never quite fit me. But ironically enough, my father, who was part of the silent generation, always saw me as somebody who took care of his family, always respected me as a man. Now, he gave me shit because he's my father. And before he passed, he recognized that I was always somebody who was striving to be just a better individual, a better man. And that's somebody who taught me, somebody who went to war, somebody who literally went to Vietnam War and never wanted me to be part of that. Somebody who was a plumber and literally paid for my school so I wouldn't have to do the same shit that he did, so I can actually do a better job than what he did. Something I studied war so my children can study mathematics. Yeah, that's the mark of a true man. And when you look at some of this shit that the red pill actually give you or tells you, you have to just, if you have any level of responsibilities, if you've been in any level of mature relationship, if you've had to support yourself other than going from mommy's basement and doing drop shipments and crypto scams, do you know how it is to be a real man? How to make tough decisions. And this, even though I may not fully agree with this gentleman, you can tell that he's been through some shit. So let's watch this video. I saw a few minutes of it, so I figured I'd react to it on stream. But let's go. Making losses, making losers. The Warriors, Lions, not sheep.
The other day I was having a conversation with one of my brothers, and we were discussing the fundamentals of what makes a man. And at the core of it, there were two things. There were two fundamental qualities that are essential in a man, being a real man, being a good.
So this is somebody who's obviously older, maybe middle Gen Xer. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers like this. I mean, they were in my friend group, and even though I didn't hang out with them hard like that, I still respected their opinion about shit because they had to deal with shit in a lifetime where I didn't have to deal with shit. Shit was slightly easier for me being down in 42, and most of the motherfuckers were born in the late to mid 70s. I was born in the early 80s.
Good man. And that is honor and integrity. Honor being a high level of respect, self-respect, and integrity being an honest person, a person who is whole. When I look at the space this red pill manosphere space, I see a bunch of incomplete little boys pretending to be men.
So here's the thing, and I get the points that he's actually saying. Honor, self-respect, something I have in spades. Sometimes a little bit too much. Integrity, and this is like funny because if you saw that whole little rant that Myron did, it was nothing was ever mentioned about integrity. You know what was mentioned about? Loyalty, but never integrity. Now, would I describe myself as a real man? I don't know because I don't know the definition of a man. Am I an adult? As I said, do I have responsibilities? Sure. Do I have a penis that I like to use? Fuck, of course. But when it comes to judging my manliness versus somebody else's, that shit is for the birds. Am I complete and whole? Or I can sustain myself as a person. And if I have a relationship, that's somebody that complete me, that not completes me, that is an addition to me. But if someone needed some help and I was down to my last two and somebody needed one, you best believe the integrity I have, how can I help you out? But you my enemy. Look, you suffering. How can I help you out? There are people right now that I would, in the best case scenario, if they were on fire, you know what I would use to put them out? Time. I would just use time to put them out. Eventually, they'll stop being on fire. But when it comes down to somebody in need, when it comes down to say, hey, I got this, you need this, I think it's the highest form of integrity, even when it's your enemies, even when it's people that who have played to destroy you. And you can help them out, even knowing that, yeah, I know you tried to destroy me, and this changes nothing of our adversary relationship, but you're suffering and you need help. And a real man helps those that need help. Not out of pride of saying I'm a man, but because it's just the right fucking thing to do. But let's continue.
And the ones with the biggest audience, the ones with the biggest mouth, all have several things in common. They all talk extremely fast. They all speak the same retarded victim narrative. They're all that have this loser mindset. But even more than that, they're all broken, lost little boys larping as men.
And you know what? This is a very, very acute point. If you notice the red pill, they're not advocating for man. They're advocating to be victims. Look at Myron. Look at Walter. Oh, she was an escort. Oh, she was a criminal. Oh, she tricked them. Oh, this happened. Andrew Tate. Oh, they're just trying to get me for OnlyFans. Victim, 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 victim. You have Andrew Tate that was bragging on the internet, talking about we like when a girl talk stuff to you, like shut up, bitch. Like, and he would brag about the shit. Now it's the world is after me, the Matrix is after me. If you can't fight that motherfucking Matrix, you motherfucking conquer it. You fucking consume the shit and you run that shit. If you can't beat it back, you consume that shit and you run that shit. But these are cowards. These are people that have a grievance with the fact that they're too stupid, they're too cowardly, or they just are shit people, shit personality people. That they can't deal with the fact that, this motherfucker is, I don't know, he seems like he shouldn't get girls, but he's getting girls. He doesn't have to lie to him, and he's getting girls. If you notice like some of the most people that you think this should not get women are getting women without having to be rich. They're doing something like, I don't know, treating them like people. But let's continue.
Now, I've made no secret about the way that I feel about most of these guys, and I've made no bones about calling out those that I feel are the most harmful to men. But today, what I want to put the light on this situation with Myron and the little troll dude from Fresh and Fit. Now, in the past, I've made videos about these guys, and the little fanboys have stood their ground and said a bunch of ignorant stuff to me. I'm a hater. I wish that I could be like them. All of this goofy stuff. And the truth of the matter is, if I wanted to participate in this loser talk, I know the narrative. I know the things to say. I know how to speak about hypergamy and go find all the lowest of the low women and throw rocks at them on camera. I could do all of those things, but the only thing that I would be doing is furthering the damage that these young men have already experienced.
So here's the thing with everything that he's saying. It's easy to grift these motherfuckers. It's easy. This is shit that I talked about the left not actively reaching out to these motherfuckers. It's easy to grift these people. Hell, Shoe had said it. These people act as if they care about what's going on with young men, but they're using it as a grift. And everybody on the left jumped down her fucking throat. But time and again, that shit has been proven right. You get motherfuckers who sit back and tell these guys that, oh, because you're a man and the power is designed for, the system is designed for your benefit, then you're good. How is the system designed for a 14-year-old boy to feel any type of relevance or any type of power? It's like, it's these thought terminating cliches. You're driving into the arms of these fucking grifters that's trying to use them to make money and turning them into the bullshit artists that you are complaining about. And then my man's like this, who, again, don't know this man's politics. All I can say is he's tired of the bullshit. He's tired of the bullshit that these motherfuckers are talking. But let's continue.
I don't have a problem with my channel being where it's at. I have no desire to be like any of these guys. So there's no hate. I'm merely telling the truth. And I'm trying to get young men to understand that these dudes aren't what they pretend to be. They're mostly frauds. They're for sure cowards. But the biggest problem is these young men sit in these audiences trying to learn things. But I think that there's something a little bit deeper than that.
So he's right. Especially, remember how Myron tried to challenge Albert to a fucking boxing match, and I was like, no. But Preach said he'd take on both of them because Preach was the actual trained fighter. And then they backed off talking about, oh, I'm scared. I need to buy a weapon. And like, they're cowards. You get that video where Myron was talking shit on somebody. Somebody ran up on him because he was talking shit and he backed the fuck down. A lot of these people are cowards. Andrew Tate, he needs to feel powerful by beating on women. But when it comes to a guy, oh, no, I'm good. The fighting tomato cans. Yeah, Preach talk exactly. And they ran scared. So no, nobody who's an adult wants to be like these guys. Nobody who's has lived life, has lived the fucking experience of actually having to make hard choices, wants to live like these guys. They're the fantasies of a 16-year-old boy. I want to be rich and have a lot of women and drive fancy cars. Well, most of these cars ain't even theirs. They're rented. All those cars that they pulled from Andrew Tate were rented. Walter even got exposed for having a rented Lambo. And on top of that, they so rich that Walter went half on a 30 grand bracelet for somebody he says is a prostitute. Come on now. Nobody wants to be like y'all. Not a grown person. But let's continue.
Because Fresh and Fit they've made their entire brand off of dogging single mothers, dogging women that have high body counts, all these things. And I don't disagree with many of the sentiments rules, but in this space, these guys have created this dynamic to where they put these girls on the stage, they belittle and berate them, and then when the doors are closed, the cameras are off, these dudes are betting these women, they're giving them money, they're buying them gifts, and now the little gremlin looking boy has impregnated some Chinese girl of the night.
You preaching shit, and like let's not forget that Myron actually had a motherfucking profile on the Sugar Baby website. Myron had a profile on Sugar Baby websites, and then want to say, "Well, all women want is this money." You got a profile on Sugar Baby websites, but let's continue.
Now, I don't care about anything that these guys do. I don't watch any of their content. The only way I become privy to these things is I see other people making fun of them. And in this case, it's again Abba and Preach. And so they've made successive videos about this. And one of the things that is really that stood out, beside the obvious that this dude is.
So I want to say this, and I've reiterated this before, and so come at me. One, I've always said that Preach was a little bit more grounded, and that comes from him actually having a family, actually doing shit. Abba over time has actually learned how to grow more empathy. And I know, shocking. Why would you say that? No, I've saw some early videos. Abba has grown more empathy than what he originally had when they started the channel. And I mean, like, yeah, I know, I get it. Like, they both have, in some cases, dog shit takes. However, when you literally dismiss everybody for their takes, for just one or two takes, because you just think, oh, they're bad, sometimes you miss out on shit. And I encourage people not to listen to anybody unquestionably. Fuck that. Not even me. Take this shit with a grain of salt that I'm saying. But when you actually come up against real life shit and somebody start making, I don't know, yeah, no, that's kind of fucked up type thing to do, or that's a fucked up way of trying to treat people, you kind of get to a situation where, I don't know, you start doing this thing called growing and becoming better. And I think for Abba, one of the situations that kind of fucked him up to start realizing maybe I need to reevaluate some shit is when he got in a situation with the young lady who technically assaulted him, that was being hostile to him, and he thought about it, was like, I got a career to protect. I It's not worth doing this bullshit. Now, is some of his takes that I still disagree with? Yes. But to see somebody grow and get just a little bit better, you want that. Do you like? I'm not gonna be the one who sit back and say, "Oh, you got to be exactly how I want you to be." No, that's stupid. And we live in a world of billions of people. No, I don't want everybody to think exactly like I do. But let's continue.
Preaching a message that he doesn't live is the fact that the the suspect one has gone out of his way first to talk about how classy this girl was, how high class, how sophisticated, This girl is top of the line, y'all, and you're wrong for saying these things about her. But then when the tables turn, all of a sudden he's got another notebook with all these receipts, and the little troll is hiding in the shadows, hoping that the suspect one cleans up his mess. You see, one of the things that I've tried to do on this channel is be honest. I've never painted a picture of myself that isn't as honest as I can be. I don't claim to be anything. I'm a man that has made a great deal of mistakes, and I'm still learning from those things. But what I see propagated to young men, this idea that in order to find a good woman, you need to sleep with at least 50 women so you understand the difference between a bad one and a good one. These are retarded. It's it that
Oh wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. He's like to sleep with. It's like he's like, are you art slur? Like the all right, all right. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. Like some of these guys, it's like you talk to a guy like this in his probably late to middle to late 40s, like to find a good woman. No, you just want your dick wet, dog. Just say that. All right, let's go.
that's absolutely stupid. And you can tell that these guys don't have any real experience with real women. I'm not talking about dizzy bobblehead hookers. I'm talking about classy women. Because the thing about real women, women that have something about them, they're not going to lay up with you. They're not going to let you notch them on your bedpost just because you're trying to check things out. And this idea that these guys spew, that you got to check it out before you got to test drive the car before you buy it. Women aren't cars. And
Oh God, dude. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Again, don't know this man's politics. A from Adam, but I could just say this. This is the conversation of somebody who has an aunt, who has a niece, who has a daughter, who has a granddaughter, a mother, a sister. This is a conversation of somebody who's had a female friend who's actually just talked to a woman that he ain't paid. It's like women aren't cars, dog. They not. And if you want to go around saying, "Hey, get your dick wet, get your dick wet as much as you can," don't lie to the chicks, but get your dick wet and say you want to get your dick wet. Don't use some excuse like I'm just trying to find the perfect woman, so I need to test the milk before I buy the cow. No, just say you want to fuck.
and you can tell the dude doesn't have a whole lot of experience with women when they have this mindset, because once you've driven a couple of cars, you realize they're cars. Some have faster engines and whatnot, but they're just cars. And when you've smashed a bunch of girls, you understand that it's just that. That's all it is. It's not that action. It's not that thing. It's not any of the.
I don't know about you, but I didn't hear some that turned. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But it's right though. Once you have enough sex with a couple of different women, you start realizing that it's not just about the sex. That's what you start realizing. It's about the connection that you have. That when shit get really trusted, oh my God, you better buy that motherfucking door trampoline. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go.
that makes it special. It's the connection that you have with that person. Now, a lot of times it's lust and your body tricks you. But if you smash some random from the club, how many times have you heard tales of dudes doing crazy stuff trying to get away from that post nut clarity? All those are real things. That's instant regret from something that you thought was going to be good in the moment. And when you play the game, you understand how this goes. So to prescribe this to dudes, to tell them to go out there and dull your sense, deal with a bunch of worthless women. See, this is one of the delusions. Thinking that being able to smash a bunch of loose girls makes you a valuable dude. That's like somebody who goes and digs through other people's trash and eats food, thinking that he's on a custom a custom buffet. This is a high dollar buffet, son. I can eat whatever I want. Right here, I got some lobster over here, and this one right here, I got some scrimps. Like
You even said scripts. Hell no. Hell no.
it's the same thing. You're picking up trash, and the delusion is oh man, I must be the man because I'm able to pick up these scallywags hella easy. If you got a lot of money and you're dangling that carrot in front of these girls, you're not really winning. You're playing a simp. But when you approach it from a different view, when you rename being a simp to being a player and having game, then you're deluding yourself. And that's exactly what these guys do. And these young men who listen to these dudes are becoming carbon copies of douchebags. You know, I think that one of the biggest problems that young men have is there is a lack of good male role models for them to follow. And many of these young men have grown up in an age where they've spent the majority of their lives behind screens, playing in chat rooms, playing video games, interacting with people and never really gaining social skills.
And you know what? To me, some of that is true. Some of this, the interaction that we have, where you aren't talking to people, you're talking at them. I know, says the guy who's making a video for YouTube, but it's not. And even like you see it, like even like if you know some people and you have that conversation, yeah, on a Discord call, it's like you're waiting for a stop, and it's like, no, sit in a room with somebody and have a fucking conversation. So many people that, and I'm not even gonna say, oh, it's these single parents and all this other good bullshit, because I know people who live in their parents' house, they just don't interact. And part of it is fuck, we working too much. Part of it is the ease of technology. Part of it is it's just that it's easier to talk to a screen or be behind a screen than it is to interact with people and their emotions. How come I just can't fuck them and get what I need to that nut and keep going? But let's continue.
Kids don't go out and interact with one another anymore. They sit in a room or sit across the table from one another and text on their devices. And then they wonder why they have no skills in dealing with the opposite sex. And then when you've got clowns like Andrew Tate and all the other red pill nerds that have gotten hurt by girls who come in and go, all girls are doo-doo heads, and you should just get a bunch of money and take a bunch of juice and get muscles and put yourself on a high value target list. I mean, high value man list, which
Did he just say high value target list? Hell no. All right, let's go.
makes you end up being a high value target to these gold diggers, just like this little monkey faced dude from Fresh and Fit. You see, I don't have a problem that the dude isn't who he says he is. I kind of expected that he was a sugar daddy sucker, and he was exactly what he was telling men not to be, that he was bedding the exact same women that they consistently tell dudes not to deal with. Both of these guys are frauds. I think that if the truth was found out, I would not be one bit surprised if Myron didn't even like girls. This dude moves like so many dudes that I've known in my life who played the role because they didn't want to get leaned on for being funny style. But every time that a girl did anything outside of the way of these dudes, they went off just like Myron, throwing stuff, banging on his chest like a gorilla, flexing on these girls.
Damn. Fuck. Dude. And like, this is the old cat. This is an old school cat saying this shit. And look, check it out. If Myron likes dudes, cool beans, live your life, King. You can be gay without thinking that your masculinity is gone, dog. If you like dudes, cool. Be you. But what makes you look bad is when you try to pretend that no, I don't. No, I don't. But we got this picture of you hugged up on it. That no. You ain't never been on the team before. You ain't never been to war with people before. Dog, I've been on teams, but not teams like that. You playing for another team? Just say so.
Like he's hard, but he'd never move on no dude like that. That dude is probably on the other side. He's probably a flag waver. He's just playing this role because he's got a nice little niche. But these dudes are both clowns. And this latest episode has really shown it.
And again, not saying I agree 100% with his politics, but everybody's picking this shit up with Myron, dog. Everybody's picking this shit up. Dude, live your best life, King. If you want to get you some princes, not princesses, but princes, do that. Have fun. I mean, like, the worst judge that's judging you is yourself. But let's continue.
This dude has admittedly bullied women in the past, played women, took them to McDonald's and bought them some food, and then leave them stranded after talking them into aborting their child. And these guys have the nerve to act like they're standing up for what's best for men and all of this, but they're creating the very same women that they tell men to stay away from. Because if this woman has this child, then she will be a single mother. Undoubtedly, she'll be a single mother, and the child will lose for that. If they stay together and they try to raise that child, the child will lose for that because his father is a loser.
Damn. Like, fuck. You just gonna call this man a loser like that? We all know he is, but still. All right, let's go.
And apparently his mother is what she is. But if they 86 the child loses all the way around. You see, to me, this isn't really a laughing matter because while we've become so accustomed to getting rid of our inconveniences, this shines a light on a bigger problem with manhood, a bigger problem with the West, the bigger problem with just what is wrong with our culture. We've got too many men celebrating this ease of access of taking children out because of their inconvenience to the suckers who make them. Instead of preaching and telling people, man, you need to learn restraint. You need to.
And see, here's the thing. Like I said, I think somebody's body autonomy is just that. They should be able to choose what they do with their own body. But if you're using abortions as birth control, we need to have a different talk. And some people are. And no. It's not the fall of the West. It's not how the West is going bad and things like that. My mans, I will tell you this. Abortions have been happening longer than the legalization of Roe versus Wade. The Greeks and the Romans was trying to do shit. Hell, if you go and read the Bible, they tell you how to make an abortion potion. So it's not the West, it's not this, it's modern life, and this shit is happening in other nations too. What you want to say is that in poor nations, they don't have the same levels of technologies we do, but I guarantee you, babies are not being born in those countries either.
To learn discipline. You need to learn how to respect yourself enough to not lay up with women who lay up with the highest bidder. These dudes are the opposite of what they preach. But more than that, the way that he's handled this situation, the way both of these clowns have handled this situation, have shown that neither one of them have any respect for themselves. They have no honor and they have no integrity because they're constantly lying instead of just facing the truth and saying, you know what, man, I failed. And I did what I told y'all not to do. I'll take all the arrows. I take all the heat. I take all of it. I own it. Instead,
you expect them to be responsible for the shit that they did. You know what? Marvin is helping men be better men. He could be saving children that are trafficked and, making a real difference. But he needs you to give him money to get his wallet up.
instead of doing that, they're going out of the way trying to produced this, that, and the other. But it doesn't negate the fact the dude did exactly what he calls people simps, suckers, and losers for doing. And you guys who watch them are facilitating this because you're the ones that are carrying the throne that they ride on. You guys that watch these dudes, who follow these dudes, who deify these dudes, you guys are complicit in all this. And what's going to happen, without a doubt, if you continue to listen to these LARPing little boys pretend to be men, you'll grow to be as much of a douchebag, loser man as they are. You will be exactly what you've been feeding yourself over these years. The best thing for all young men who are seeking guidance from men, the best thing that you could do is go get a real job. Go get around real men, not crypto bros, not dudes who got smooth hands and wear tight shirts and pants and run around looking like feminized vaginal little dudes. Man, go around men.
I mean, like, again, like I said, some of this shit is okay, and some of the shit that I would have to make a disagreement with, because even though my motherfucking hands are soft and I want to be a motherfucking artist, I guarantee goddamn to you, I still do a long, hard day's worth of work. Now, just looking at this man's background, he likes to repair shit. Got a motorbike over here, like you can see the over here. You can see a fucking table vise. He repairs shit with his hands. And you know what? Cool beans for you. Like, dude, like if that's what you want, if that's your, I mean, like I ain't gonna lie, I would love to motherfucking buy me a the shit that I would need for a forge. But if you want to build shit with your hands, cool beans. But he's right as far as crypto shit is not a real job. It's learning how to steal from people. But let's continue.
Go get a job as a roofer. Go get a job as on a construction site. Go get a job throwing concrete down. Go get a job doing things with men.
See,
Learn how
this is
to
what I
get
mean.
around men. Learn how to speak with men. Not dudes like Andrew Tate who take their shirt off to entertain a bunch of 14-year-old boys. Go around men who look at clowns like Andrew Tate, fresh and fit, and all of these red pill dudes and laugh at them. Those are the men that you need to surround yourself with. Those are real men. And in doing so, you'll then be on the path to becoming one yourself.
I mean, like, again, I can't just say like, if you ain't got a physical job, you ain't a man. But I understand where he's coming from. As I said earlier in this segment, yeah, my father was a plumber, and again, I it is something to have an example for, so you can actually judge yourself by what you want to take from those people and what you want to reject from those people. It is true, so I can't knock some of the truth that's in that. However, just because you ain't doing a hard physical job don't mean you ain't a guy, ain't a man. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. That's something I have to disagree with you with. But I will agree that examples of being a responsible adult, you definitely need that. But let's continue.
But you're not going to learn how to be a man listening to somebody who's got a podcast every week who brings in losers so you can celebrate and then throw money in the back door. The best thing for men to do is to hit the power button and go outside and put yourself where real men are. Honor and integrity. That's the foundation of a man. It doesn't matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter how many cars you have. Honor and integrity. Fresh and Fit have neither. Out.
So no, that was actually interesting. I will say this. Like I said, slightly different generation. And I'm like, I don't doubt that there are certain shit that I agree with or disagree with. But in this, we are allied to show that a lot of these real pill motherfuckers, they're just clowns, man. They're just clowns, and that's just it. And whether you support yourself by doing a YouTube stream and, doing shit like this. If it comes down to it, if you have to make your back on making a bank and back, if you want to make your bank on off the backs of other people, dishonestly, making them suffer, then I question if you're a man or not. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and we're gonna get this video segment. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.